You already know what it feels like to remember something ancient that you didn't study this lifetime. It's like suddenly realizing you were humming a tune before the band started playing. That small, familiar hum, that's intuition. The quiet signal that tells you where the next breadcrumb lies. And it's funny, isn't it? How every time you follow that tiny nudge, even when logic grumbles, something clicks. That click is the universe saying, see, you can trust me when you move. And every time you hesitate, waiting for a sign the size of a billboard, life just keeps whispering, smaller and smaller, until you bend close enough to listen. So imagine now, standing at the edge of a wide field. Each step you take on that field sends ripples forward. Ripples that change tomorrow's weather. Act on the teachings, kindness, awareness, curiosity, grounded courage. And those ripples grow into clear skies of synchronicity. Ignore them, and the ripples collide, making fog, confusion, noise. Cause and effect, karma is physics, not punishment. Somewhere in that field, there's a door made of light. When you walk through it, you don't lose yourself, you gain more self. Because channeling isn't about leaving your body. It's about letting more of your own wisdom fit inside it. That's the secret every mystic eventually trips over. The divine doesn't want a puppet, it wants a partner. And you've partnered before, haven't you? Every time you learned a new skill, driving, writing, healing, loving, you partnered with something larger than logic. Muscle memory, intuition, divine coordination, all the same orchestra. You didn't have to believe in it for it to work. You just had to practice until it became natural. Channeling works the same way. Repeat the rhythm. Clean the instrument. Trust the signal. Now chunk up to the bigger picture. Imagine a future you, a year, 5 years, a decade from now, living as if these lessons were second nature. You speak truth with warmth. Act from clarity, not fear. And people around you steady themselves just by being near your calm. That's one branch of the timeline tree. On another branch, the you who never practiced keeps scrolling, doubting, chasing proof. That version lives in constant static. Not wrong, just unfinished. And even as you picture those branches, your mind, clever thing that it is, it's already decided which one feels more alive. Notice that. Notice how the body, it already leans forward, towards the path that feels coherent, whole, useful. That's a somatic yes. The body's vote for integration. And every time you honour that vote, by pausing, breathing, acting on the next clear step, the system upgrades itself quietly in the background. Neuroplasticity rewires. Emotional memory reshapes. Perception widens. Science calls it learning. Mystics call it awakening. Same process, different poetry. Now let's talk consequences, the fatherly way. If you act on these teachings, the side effects, they're mild but impressive. A tendency to speak honestly without aggression. Spontaneous empathy, laughter during crises, random moments of knowing exactly what to do. If you don't act, the side effects, they're the usual suspects: overthinking, repeating lessons, until they hurt enough to notice. A chronic sense that you're meant for more, but can't reach it yet. The universe doesn't punish. It repeats the curriculum until you pass. So choose to study differently. Each morning while brushing your teeth, imagine you're tuning your internal radio a little clearer. Every time you breathe before reacting, you're adjusting frequency. Every conversation where you listen beneath words, you're strengthening the channel. Small daily calibrations. That's how the big magic sneaks in. And isn't it wild? Even listening to this now, some part of you already remembers how to do it. Because the very curiosity that brought you here proves the system is awake and searching for alignment. All learning is relearning. All teaching is reminding. So let it feel playful. Let it be dramatic. Let it be life-changing in the simplest, most ordinary ways. When the day ends and you close your eyes, imagine yourself as both bridge and compass. The bridge that carries insight into action, and the compass that keeps you oriented toward integrity. Every night you reboot, recalibrate, recharge. Every morning you wake up a little clearer. That's the installation, not magic, just repetition soaked in meaning. And as you go on with your day, you might find yourself automatically pausing before decisions, listening for that subtle yes signal. When that happens, smile. It means the teachings have stopped being information and have become instinct.